warm-ups in here. Get those stretches in, right? You know, a good warm-up when you're wanting to start. Get your knives, you know, maybe not one, put a couple in your hand so it's a little more heavy. Just start moving them up. Rotate your arms to the front. Do that like 10 times. Rotate it to the back 10 times. Lower body to get warmed up too. Kick. You don't want to stretch cold. I'd rather warm up and then stretch. And if you're doing more movements, tactical drills, you may want to do some leg work. All right, it doesn't take too much, but it's definitely important. It shouldn't be neglected.
Lightweight! Yeah, buddy! Nothing but peanuts!
Every time I'm putting a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Just like if you're training with weights. You start off low, add the weight. The more power I add, the more accurate I get. That's what I like. Warm up, complete. So many bugs in the face. All right, certain styles of throws will limit you to what you want to achieve. Accuracy can pretty much be achieved with any style. If you want speed, maybe that's going to be limited a little bit more. And then if you want power, definitely going to limit yourself. Certain throws aren't going to get you the power other styles can get you. So don't go down a road thinking you're going to get something when it's not there. You know, take a look around, study, and understand the certain styles out there and what people are getting from them after the amount of years they're throwing. I'm not trying to bring any style down, but when I look at, as an example, the BIMO style, BMO, you know, that's a very comfortable, relaxed style of throwing, but you're not going to see power from that throw. It's a very good throw for, you know, keeping your joints, you know, very fluid, probably prevents a lot of injuries, and you know, you can probably do it in your older age. I have a lot of bugs coming around me right now. It's just the time of season, but it's an example of a style of throw that, sure, you can get some power out of it, but you're going to be limited in a relaxed state with no follow through. Power is generated through the entire body, from the bottom of your feet to the tip of your finger. So understanding how the mechanics work, it isn't complicated. We've studied this for, you know, decades and decades, centuries. Throwing isn't new to anybody. So looking out there and understanding to how the best throws are achieved is simple. Maybe a lot of people just take that the wrong way because they want their style to be, you know, looked at in a certain way, but it's just not, in my mind. And I'm trying to be as honest as possible. So when I say a baseball style throw is probably one of your better throws, to me, I've studied it and it's proven. I'm not going to argue against something that's a fact. You would see baseball pitchers throw certain ways if that wasn't true. Seeing that and seeing how similar all the throws are in baseball for that specific goal for power, speed, and accuracy, it's there for you to see and understand. I'm into combat. I'm into trick shots. I'm into making this something that could be lethal, could be a self-defense. A lot of people will argue against it because they walk around in their country with guns. Of course, you have a different weapon, much easier to use, and it's going to be a lot more effective. Go with that. That's better. Not every country has that. Think about it within the country you're in, what you can do, and then take it serious. If you're in America training for combat knife throwing, you're probably going to get yourself killed because most people are carrying a gun around with them. In Canada, that's not the case. If you are thinking about it properly, then that's a good thing. If you're not thinking about it properly, then you're going to get yourself hurt and your training's not going to be effective. So, hope that helped. All right, I decided to throw like that. I call that speed throwing. To make this next point in combat, speed throwing versus no reload throwing. What's more effective? Reasonable, practical. For me, I'm gonna side with speed throwing. You're really gonna make sure each shot is effective and as much as you can get out of it. With no reloading, you're in a combo and you almost can't get out of that combo. You might open yourself up to attacks. You're losing power, you're losing accuracy. You're not making each shot as effective as you can make it. And I think you can have more errors there. You can have more room for getting attacked, for a counter. And it looks good on camera. People make it seem very effective. The way the camera's set up, you can hear power out of it. But I think there's a bit of deceit in that. And I'm not saying this to bring anyone down again. This is just, you have to think about these things properly, especially when it comes to combat, because it's a matter of life and death. So what do you want to train for again, right? What are you really trying to get out of this? Do you want to be a combative knife thrower and be an actual threat or a possible way to eliminate the crime or predator, whatever you have? Then think about it. And what I'm trying to say is to help you make a better decision on your training, so not wasting your time with something, putting more effort into reloading when you could be working on your speed throwing. I think there's a lot more you're going to get if you're wanting to train for combative knife throwing. Here's a lot more you're going to get when these bugs are insane right now. Much more you're going to get from staring at your target, not turning from your target, not spinning around, going underhand, then overhand, switching arms. If you can do that, great, but I would definitely make that a less priority, and I would focus on throwing with your dominant hand the best way and get the most results. So speed throwing, being able to throw really fast while you're moving, I think is the most effective combative way you can do it. Pulling your knife out of certain areas on your pocket and throwing them as hard as possible and as accurate as possible. Train like that for years. If you're a combative knife thrower, I wouldn't really switch my training up much. This is what I do all the time. I don't see it having to be that complicated. There's not many other ways. So if you're wanting to be effective, Think about it properly. No reloading looks great again. I'm gonna say it one more time. That looks awesome. Looks very cool, ninja-like. But it's a less priority in my mind. It's something I wouldn't even do. I wouldn't even do it in a combative situation. Surprise attack on somebody? No. Not when I can use a surprise attack with a throw that is so hard, and then I can go for another throw that is so hard and have 6 throws available within almost the same time as no reloading. And you're gonna get those 6 knives out of control. What if your target's moving and you're in the motion of spinning? When you turn around, your target is not standing still. So what are you going to do, right? You're going to lose your knives and waste it. I would rather have one shot where I'm going to put everything I have into it and then train for that next attack. Whether I'm going to charge my enemy, retreat, or throw another hard one, you know, there's my arena. That's what I'm focused on when it comes to combative knife throwing and trying to make it as real as possible. Another quick point to make, if you're no reloading and you miss and you're in a spin or turning your back somehow, where's your knife going when you miss? There I knew exactly. When I missed, I knew exactly where my knife was going. So I'm not turning my back and I don't know where my knife went, if it actually hit the target or missed, or the enemy then gets it out of them, starts throwing it back at me. I'm gonna be ready and I'm gonna see where my knife goes. He goes to reach for my knife, I'm gonna keep throwing at him or I'm gonna charge him, right? So people are gonna miss sometimes. When you add that threat, when that actually happens, reality hits, you don't know if you're gonna have that first shot be the perfect shot. So being able to see what you need to do, it's kind of like in hockey. You follow through with your shot, you look where your shot's going. In the military, when we're throwing grenades, they force every newbie to look where your grenade goes. If you drop to the ground behind your protective wall, they pick you up and they force you to look where your grenade goes, so you know what you've done, and you're not falling down. The enemy gets away and now they're surrounding you and you thought you did something. So being able to follow through with each shot is very important. That's why I always say don't turn to your back to your attacker. These no reload combos can be done quick, but it's a split second. It's all you need. It's a split second to make a mistake, and then you're in some hurt, you're in some trouble. So I would advise everyone, if you're combative knife throwing, look at your target, look where your knives are going, and be ready to make quick decisions. Much easier when you're looking and you're not turning your back. Right? Don't waste the throw. Don't just throw because you can throw. If you want to throw combatively, get to the distance you feel best at, where you're training the most at. Everyone's distances might be a little different. 10, 15 is very common, feet. but definitely get to that position. Train to get to that position from different areas. Rushing towards that area, then throw. Backing up, turning around, then throw. If you're in a combative situation, there's a threat, keep that distance from them. Maintain that. Keep backing up. If they keep backing up, or you approach, but keep that distance. That you're comfortable. You're training to throw. You want to have the most effective throw, even if you got one shot, right? So you got to make sure it's the best shot you can get. So that's why I like training with. I'll run to my feet the distance I like. I turn around and I throw. I don't want to waste a throw too far away or too close when it's not going to be what I want. The result, I'm going to have to go on the fly and see what happens. But if I'm confident at 10 feet, the chances of me doing something more effective is higher, and that's what I want at the end of the day. Be your own sensei. In every martial art, a lot of training. Doesn't matter if it's martial arts. You have to level up. Someone is coaching you, teaching you. They're going to be the ones to notice if you're at a certain level, and they're going to move you up. You're going to get a different colored belt. Graduate. Don't rush yourself in your training. You can't get past white belt if you don't master the basics. So if you rush yourself, if you had a good day, the next day you're going to try something different, that could definitely hurt your training. You want to take it your time, get really good at the basics, and move yourself up. I think you got to be your own sensei and know where you're at. Don't have a good day, a good week, a good month. Have a good year. It takes more than a decade to get a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's going to take some serious time. If you're serious, you will take the time. You will be patient. How do you train? You know your mistakes. You know how comfortable you are. Every day you go out and you train, how do you start? Are you having to warm up and you're dropping until you get to a certain, rhythm? Or are you able to just throw? It should come very naturally, especially at certain distances. So definitely be your own sensei. Be honest with yourself. And take the time. No one's going to move up that fast. There is a lot more time you can put into it, but put the proper time, especially at the beginning, and move yourself up accordingly. Right? You just throw whenever you want. To be perfect, probably don't have unrealistic expectations of yourself. You're going to drop it, but know where you are. Throw more than one at a time. Get into a rhythm of changing up your routine where you can switch it up. Darts, they all throw from the same spot, WKTL, and they're in a rhythm, and they can just, muscle memory is great. When you're training for tactical, combative reasons, you're not at the same place. So you can do something standing still, Can you do it moving side to side? Can you do it from approaching and then retreating? Can you do it when you're super tired? Can you do it right away, right? Can you do it at different distances, different angles? Take those steps, do those things, stay within a distance. Don't switch up your training. If you're wanting to be really good at something and then next day you're no reloading, the next day you're throwing long distance, then you're doing, you're back to throwing at 10 feet, no spin, you're trying half spin the next day. It's going to take longer to get your goals completed. Take that into consideration when you're training. I guess it's good training too, but the bugs when I'm throwing, I'll throw one, the next time I'm going to like cock and load, a bug flies into my eye. So these mistakes I'm making today, I've never had bugs like this flying around me so much. It's insane. I don't know if you see them, but I feel like that guy in Charlie Brown with all that stuff floating around him. It's crazy. Whew. See the angle I'm throwing at, it's far, right? So are you able to keep your accuracy, your power, throwing at variable angles? And I mean pretty intense angles, not, a couple feet off, but you're actually meters off. Train some more. The more you can do, more different things you can do, the better. Just like weight training, muscle training. You keep changing it up. Your body has to adjust, and it adapts so well when you do. Right? Sometimes you want to be relaxed it gives you more of a surprise attack. But can you throw fast and as powerful? You know, I'm usually like this. This is what I want to be at. This is where my stance is. Ready. But sometimes you want to be chill. You know, you don't want to pose a threat. You don't want to show them what you got yet. And then they come, and then you can launch. So, different ways of standing, but getting to that throw where you know you're most powerful at. So I'm still throwing. I'm still going to throw the same way. I'm just starting at a different point. Why throw two knives at once in a combative situation? Doesn't make sense to me. Your knife throwing shouldn't be like a shotgun. You're going to sacrifice power. You're going to sacrifice accuracy. You're going to waste your weapons. So if you can throw one, why have to throw two when you can't do it as good? Focus on throwing one. I can throw two, but I'm not going to train that way. I can do it. I can do it from distances that are elite, 7, 8, 9, 10 meters, but I just don't see the practicality at it. Not when I can throw one the same way, harder, and have more options. I can throw more. If I have 6 knives in my hand, I got 6 chances. Or I throw 2 or 3 at once and I got 1 or 2 chances. Is it cool and can be effective? I'm never saying it's not. You can throw a pencil and say it's effective in the right time, but there's 2. And then the one I threw knocks that one out. That was kind of perfect timing. Just because you could do something doesn't mean you should actually do it. Just want to clarify one thing before I end this video. I'm just here to help. I'm not here trying to attack anybody. If I use someone's style as an example, it's just to be able to compare and show the truth. Like, sometimes we can't be so sensitive or protective of something, let our pride or ego get in the way, because I think that limits us from getting the honest truth and able to share that with others. So that's all I'm trying to do, is help, and the best way we can do that is by, you know, bringing all the information together, weighing it, putting it to the test, seeing if it works. What is the masters out there getting from their throw? Watching and studying them. We got to be able to share, disagree, grow from it, and learn from it, so that we can actually get answers, because we can. There are answers out there. There are certain ways to go for certain things, and I just want to be able to share that with you honestly. Coolest Weatherman out.